You done fucked it up. Hiya folks, Stance Man here, coming to you with my Destiny 2 review. Now, you guys have been waiting for this, so basically now I'm giving it to you. First off, let me just start off by saying that, yes, it is late, okay? I've been working very hard on Destiny 2. It's not even funny. I wish I could have stopped sooner to get a better review, but I waited until we got the faction rallies in, so that way I could give you a full review. Now, first thing I'm going to say flat out is I don't want to hear nobody complaining to me about, oh, well, guess what? You're going to say something bad about this. But we're going to look on your ELO. We'll look on your Destiny tracker and basically be like, hey, he didn't really do it. So guess what? If you're going to do that kind of crap, just end the video right now because I really don't care. Okay, so let's continue with this video. First of all, Destiny 2 came out on September 6th. It was supposed to come out on the 9th, but it came out on the 6th, which is nice. The single-player campaign. It was awesome. It was beautifully polished. It was nice. The only thing is it was short. You can't help the fact that it was short. Fighting Gaul, or as most people called him, Gary. Pretty nice campaign. I mean, there were times where you were powerless. You weren't exactly strong. You were like a feeble, weak guardian, which was pretty cool in my opinion. And then you got your powers back after about 20 minutes to 30 minutes worth of time in the game. The ending was okay. It could have been a little bit better, but not to spoil the ending or anything, but it could have actually been a little bit better with how you fought Gaul. But then again, it is Bungie. I mean, they're known for their good stuff. I think the highlight of the single-player campaign was the tanks. The tanks were the awesome part, especially when you got to feel like a Halo-esque kind of setup with the tank. It was just so nice how it would lead up to that moment. It was just awesome in my opinion. The weapons, I mean, pretty decent. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But all in all, the game itself wasn't bad. The soundtrack, though, oh my god, it was just beautiful. It was up there with any other kind of large soundtrack that you could ever think of. Especially if you were thinking of games like Guild Wars 2, Skyrim. I'll even throw Star Trek Online on that one just because of the fact that they have a decent soundtrack for Star Trek Online. But even Neverwinter, I'll throw that in too. It even compares with Final Fantasy, maybe. I don't know. But I still say it's a good soundtrack. Very nicely done, very upbeat. I like it. Especially whenever there's parts where you're just standing there and the music's playing like crazy and nothing's really going on. Okay? I don't understand that. Next I want to talk about is the multiplayer. Crucible. Unbalanced as always. What's the main weapon everybody uses in this Crucible? It comes down to the top three. Top three. Auto rifles, scout rifles, hence the Mida multi-fucking tool that really is ticking me off, and then pulse. Yes, folks, pulse rifles. I've seen some people using pulse rifles, especially the new one that you get from Future War Cult that is supposedly the Mida multi-tool killer, which adds to the immersion that there is a gun that can actually, as a legendary, so you don't have to have the freaking exotic of the Mida. Which, by the way, that quest line for the Mida multi-tool was a pain in the ass, but it was a fun challenge. But Crucible in itself is the same old, and it got boring. Every week you gotta do a call to arms mission, which allows you to get a Luminous Engram. Same with flashpoints on a certain planet, clan XP, which if you join a clan, that's a good thing. If you don't, you're left out. There's even parts of it for the raid and for Trials of the Nine, which I will get into those a little bit later. But suffice it to say, folks, the multiplayer is the same old, same old. It will never change. It will always be the best people are on multiplayer. The ones that only want to play multiplayer because they don't like the grind of the single player campaigns or the single player afterwards where you grind for days, weeks. We haven't even reached months yet, but we're getting there to get these better guns. I miss my old guns. I really do. But at any rate, to get on to not just the Crucible, but now let's go into the chunk of the endgame content, which is the raid. Okay? This is where the pitchforks are coming out. Because I know people are going to crank on me for this, so I'm just going to make this clear. I have not finished the raid. I got as far as the Duggies in the garden. Like, first phase, I think it was. After you do the first room. And quit. Because there's not much. It's difficult. You have to have a fire team that knows what they're doing. You have to be on par. And you have to have the right setups and loadouts. So basically, that's what the raid is. And it is hard as balls. I mean, it's like a combination of all the raids from Destiny 1, the Vault of Glass, Crota, King's Fall, and Siva all into one gigantic mess. People will beat it. I commend them for it. But I have not done it. So I don't like the raid. It's too difficult and too very weird for me and my fire team, or even to go in with randoms. That's another thing about this, which I'm going to get into that. Trials of the Nine is basically Trials of Osiris 2.0 up your rear end. Because that's what it is. Soon as it dropped, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somebody can comment on that in the comments below, but when it dropped, there were some people that couldn't do it. After 24 hours of it already, it became a major problem. On the forums already. Must be 290 light. Must have gone flawless more than once already. Your K to D for Crucible has to be 2.0 or above. What kind of BS is this, folks? Play the game. If you don't get flawless, whoopee. Let people get in there and be able to do the freaking, like, mode to unlock the spires, so that way we can at least got the milestone. But no, we all have this little stuff, and that's coming up later. That I'm trying not to seethe on this. I have other seethings. And no, I'm not referring to my clan leader getting a hard light. I'm referring to some other stuff. But for right now, let us move on to another problem in the game. Actually, let's move on to a bright side of it. Aside from the campaign and all the other good stuff, there's been no mention of Deej. On my top 11 list that never got out because I had a problem with it, Deej has not been speaking. I thank him for that. You know why? Because Deej was bringing the Destiny community into this. It has to be for casuals. Casual players. You know, ones that, like this guy over here. He's basically standing here like, oh, casuals, oh, I can play for like 2, 3 hours a day and still get good stuff. But when you got somebody over here who's playing Die Hard and 50 hours a week, really? Uh-huh. But let's just say this. I like the fact there's no Deej so far. And mark my words, I'm probably going to get that later on. Next thing I'd like to discuss about it in my review, and that is obviously the biggest toxic part of it is the Eververse. Microtransactions. Where to even begin on this? I actually made a call to a friend of mine who's supposed to help me on this. I actually got a new character coming in my lineup. If you think. Sorry about that controller issue. In my lineup, it's his name is the Microtransaction God. I couldn't get him in today, but I will get him on my Shadows of War video, which I will be doing later on in the year. But suffice it to say, the biggest issue with the Eververse is it is cosmetic. The shaders, I shouldn't have to tell anybody about these, but the shaders are one-time use instead of like in Destiny 1 where you popped on like Glue-Hoo and poof, all your armor pieces turn Glue-Hoo. No, you have to buy an individual package of it. You see it, then you put it on your one piece of armor, which is probably your helmet or your chest or your legs or your cape or butt towel. And then you have to hope that you have more so you can put on each individual piece. But then if you want to change that color because, oh, I don't like this color anymore, I put a new one on. That color that I had on those pieces is bye-bye. Hence, the Eververse making it that we have to pay for shaders. And the fact that the exotic drops on ships and sparrows is at like less than 1%. Less than, as far as I know. But suffice it to say, folks, this was complete and utter crap that we give Tess Everis this much power. It's almost like she talked to Rahul and said, you know what? When you guys level up, I'm going to give you a Bright Engram. And that Bright Engram's not going to have much in it. It's going to have to it. So yeah, fun for that. Also, I want to comment with the review, aside from Tess Everis, it is the fact of the toxic community with the Trials of the Nine and the Raid, which basically, everybody should be working together. I mean, I'm sick and tired of you gotta have this, you gotta have that. If you don't have this, you can't play with us. No, that needs to stop. It really does. This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't Battlefield. This isn't freaking like a game where you have to have all this to do it. Just having the fun is all that matters. And speaking of what matters, the fact that every time that... Excuse me for a second. I had a problem there. Every time that I go into the events, I like the events. They run constantly. But trying to basically do these events just... Ugh. 1 minute, folks. I'm having an issue here. Oh! Just to pop one of these is a pain in the butt. Especially when I'm on my 15th pair of lucky frickin' pants. Those engrams are very difficult to get a hold of whenever you're trying to pop the chest. You pop your booster from the Eververse. The Eververse gives you boosters. and then you have to play and hope for the roll. But more or less, you end up getting you end up getting one of these, which give you like 5 or so light levels below the current level that you are at. Especially with the vendors like Zavala and the Gunsmith and all them, they give you these in bulk. Same with Devrim K, not just a cup of tea, but this. This. Oh, that hurt. At least I'm not popping out greens anymore. That was horrible. But suffice to say, folks, Destiny 2, in a nutshell, buy or no. If you're a Destiny 1 player, get it, because you'll enjoy it. If you're not a Destiny 1 player and you're coming into it fresh, get Destiny 1. Bust through it. It'll only take you about a day. Bust through it, and then you can play Destiny 2. You'll have a general idea of what the actual story is, to have fun. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention about. These things, the Rockstar drinks. Yeah, your engrams drop, all right. They drop at such low light levels, it's not even worth the code. Same with the Pop-Tart. When you do the Pop-Tart code for the double XP, folks, it's not worth it. You're better off putting on a booster from the Eververse, which is a lot easier. But to rate this game in its entirety, I would have to, I'm taking into consideration the fact that I'm a Destiny player and that I enjoy Destiny. So, I know Angry Joe rated a 6. You know what? I'm rating it a 6. You know why? Because really, the Faction Rally is a joke because it's only around for a week. And then next month we're getting, this month, we're getting Iron Banner back. And then we might get another Faction Rally. The raid is hard as balls, so really that takes away from anybody actually having the raid. I can't wait until they get the Prestige raid out and then everybody's whining more about how hard it is. The Trials of the Nine, if they would have just taken their lesson from Destiny 1 and would have given us the bounties, and allow... Wait a minute, I did forget some things. Nightfall with Trials and the raid. I want to say the Nightfall is hard as shit, too, unless you have a good team. I hate the fact that it's timed. Bungie, get rid of it. Get rid of the time part. The only time that you need that timing part is the Rat King's Crew sidearm weapon. Exotic Quest. Other than that, get rid of it. But add. Actually, you already have it added for it. It's called Guided Games. Where 2 of your clan mates go in and find a random. And then help them through the Nightfall. Here's what you actually need to do. Get rid of the Guided Games part of it. Make it that Nightfall, Raid, Trials. Even if you don't do Raid, just do Trials and Nightfall, matchmaking. It would make everything so much easier. Especially with trying to find teams and just to have fun. Not this, you have to have a 2.0 K today. You should have done the Mile High Club on Call of Duty 4 before I'd even look at ya kind of stuff. Seriously, folks, it's a game. It's all for fun. So, in other words, at the end of the day, what I'm calling Destiny 2 is a 6 out of 10, and that is how I'm putting it. And you guys just have to live with it, and that's just how it is. We have 2 DLCs coming out, an Osiris one and a Rasputin one. If it is Rasputin, I don't know, but we're getting that, and I will be covering those as soon as they come out. So I will see you guys next time, and I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe on this video because I like those. I like to get comments, especially the one where somebody told me that Titans are beautiful just because they're fat. Titans are fat in the game, okay? I'm not busting on them to be mean. I'm busting on them because they are fat. You know, hunters are the master race. Warlocks are your cannon fodder kind of stuff, repair people, save your butt. And Titans are your fat people who basically go in and, like Asher said, oh, I see something valuable. I'm going to bash it with my head. So, in other words, folks, I will see you guys next time. Please like, comment, subscribe on this video. And for everything Destiny 2, Dance Man, whenever I have it. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace.